Hello, and welcome to Legal Management Talk, the official podcast of the Association of Legal Administrators. I'm your host, Justin Eskenazi. ALA's Certified Legal Manager Program, or CLM, can be a great way to further your professional development and get you started on a path toward leadership. Joining us today is Rita Nielsen, Chicago Office Administrator at Locke and ALA Chicago's CLM Director. She's here to tell us all about what the CLM is, what its benefits are, and how you can join the CLM ranks. Rita is also quoted in the upcoming legal management feature article about the benefits of the CLM. Welcome, Rita. It's great to have you on.
Well, thank you, Justin. It's great to be here.
So I want to start by can you describe briefly what the CLM is and some of the benefits that it provides?
Yes, the CLM, which stands for Certified Legal Manager, is an exam that is given by the Association of Legal Administrators. And by obtaining your CLM, it pretty much states that you are competent to run a mid-sized law firm. And that means that you are pretty much knowledgeable in all the administrative areas that it takes to run a law firm.
Gotcha. And what are some of the benefits that it could offer someone's career if they get it?
Oh, absolutely. Besides having the CLM credentials and adding that to your resume, which is always a benefit if you are out looking for a job, but it is also, I think, a self-fulfillment, and you take like self-pride in getting your CLM, especially if you are invested in the legal industry. So that would be another thing that I hear when some of my study group members say that they just are doing it for themselves. And then additionally, I do know that law firms, once you get your CLM certification, will increase your salary. So there could be some great benefits behind that.
Right. So what does the process of obtaining the CLM look like?
First of all, you have to qualify. And what I mean by qualify or be eligible is probably a better word. You have to have a certain amount of educational credits within the prior 24 months that you want to take the exam. So those educational credits depend on whether you're a functional specialist or whether you're a principal administrator. And the ALA requires that you have, a certain amount of hours in writing and whatnot. That's all in the on ALA's website. So first, you just want to make sure that you're eligible, and then from there, you just have to decide whether you're going to invest and commit to taking it. And then I would have to say it's not something you just say, hey, I'm going to take this test and do it a week later. You really have to prepare for it because there's such a vast array of areas of knowledge that you need to know that could be on the exam. So it's a commitment, and often people take a good year to make sure that they're ready for it and study for it.
Right. And I also want to add that I believe the CLM exam is twice a year, right? I think it's the fall and the spring.
Yep. It's offered in the spring and the fall of every year. And additionally, what makes it easier for people to take the exam is that it is offered at the Pearson VUE testing facilities. And also, since COVID, you can even take it from your home or office. So it's made it so much easier for members to take the exam. It used to be that you could only take it at conference, but now it's easy.
Right. And so you mentioned the continuing education credits. What are some of the ways that people can earn those credits so that they qualify for the exam?
Oh, yeah. A lot of us chapters, like I'm in ALA Chicago, we offer a lot of educational sessions and learning sessions for our members. You could get those credits through your chapter if your chapter offers that. You could definitely get them from ALA webinars, sign up for those. Those are very affordable. You could get them through SHRM if you're a member of SHRM and you're doing an educational event with them. The only thing that you want to make sure of is that if you have any kind of doubt that it may qualify, is you might want to check with somebody at ALA that is going to count towards your credits. But it's not hard to get them if you're looking for them.
Right. And just like any exam, preparation is key. So how can test takers best prepare for this exam?
My advice is going to be to join a study group. That I think is the best way. But before you really decide if you're going to do this, you want to go on ALA's website. There's a tab called Education, and under that is everything you need to know about the Certified Legal Manager exam. But many chapters like mine offer study groups. And what I like about joining a study group is it's more of a commitment. You have something that is more organized and structured to get you through this whole study period, because it can be somewhat overwhelming how many reference materials there are and things that you may want to study. And it also affords you the opportunity to maybe have some study buddies, as we call them, to study with. I have just found that to be a successful way. I don't think I would have passed my exam, Justin, if I wasn't in a study group personally. It's helpful.
And so is the ALA Chicago study group open to everyone or just chapter members?
Yes, I'm happy to say that ALA Chicago opened its study group to all ALA members. And we've done this now for, I guess it's been we're going at least on the third year. We, however, only run our study group once per year because it's just such an undertaking. It's a lot, and we have a lot of speakers, but it's basically, it's kind of like a curriculum, kind of like going to school and taking a semester of something. So I line up all these speakers who are knowledge matter experts in their particular field. It could be human resources, legal industry, finance, technology, and these speakers talk for about an hour on their subject matter. And it's all guided by somebody like me who looks at the material and makes sure that it's relevant and things that could likely be on the exam. We provide quizzes, and we just gear everything right up to the date of the exam. Our particular study group is geared towards the November exam, so it ends just in time for that. And at the very end, we do a review session, and then we also do a test taking tips session, which involves a current CLM who recently took the test, just to say what to expect on test day. How does the exam day go? How can I best prepare to make sure that I'm, relaxed and ready for the exam? So it's been quite successful.
Great. And do other chapters also have study groups?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm not sure what all chapters do, but they definitely have study groups, because I've heard it from a few of them. It's usually the larger chapters, because it takes quite a bit of work to run a study group. So a smaller chapter really isn't going to be able to do that sort of thing, which is why it's great that we allow everybody into our study group, because they just don't have the bandwidth to do those sorts of things. But there are more study groups than just ALA Chicago. Yes.
Definitely. And then outside of study groups, what other resources are available for people preparing for the test?
I know that I am also SHRM certified, so that was another way that I was able to study, because I know that SHRM offers, of course, that's the human resources aspect. SHRM offers a lot of educational stuff, webinars on their site. I studied that way. Similar would be for people who are in finance. You can look for things within your industry, especially if you're members of associations like that. Certainly you can read all the books. There are, you can't read all the books. That would be impossible. But there are many resources that the ALA has on its website that you can go to and read as ways to study for the exam.
Right. And so as someone who's been through the process, what advice or takeaways do you have for those who may be just starting their CLM journey?
My key advice is, if they're really thinking of taking the exam and want the CLM credential, is to look to join a study group, because it's going to make it so much easier for you to try to wrap your head around all that there is to study and look at. That would be my number one piece of advice. Other than that, it would be to go to ALA's website and read all about what this exam entails, because I have found, now that I've been the CLM director for so long, that lots of times people don't understand what all is involved, including the education that you have to have in order to even be eligible to take the exam.
Right. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, how can the CLM help administrators take the next step in their careers? Whether it's learning something new or advancing towards senior leadership. How does the CLM help them do that?
I think that the CLM gives you a boost of confidence to just know that I've always said to people, you know more than you really know, especially if you've worked in law for so long. So once you have that CLM behind you, you just have that feeling of confidence that I can do more than this. And I also believe that people who work with you have a respect for the CLM designation, and that's going to help you advance your career or bring you more, bring you to the table, a table that you maybe weren't at before as a professional. Let me put it this way. There's absolutely no harm in getting your CLM. I think it can only improve everything on a professional level.
That's great. So if you're watching this and you're intrigued by everything Rita's told us today, and you'd like to learn more about the CLM program or register to start your journey, you can be sure to visit alanet.org/CLM to learn everything that you need to know. Thanks so much for being here, Rita.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Justin.
Thanks to our viewers, listeners, and subscribers for tuning in. If you like the show, please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss an episode. And as always, you can learn more about ALA at alanet.org. Until next time.